Hey everybody, and welcome to my weekly video for my meal planning. And this is this video is going to be the classic teriyaki burger with chicken, and it's just got done cooking it. And I tell you, the teriyaki sauce that's in this recipe is absolutely amazing. I enjoy this recipe, and I'm going to be cooking it up each morning, one patty, and then bringing that to work, microwaving it, and then toasting the bun and applying some mayonnaise and maybe some romaine tomatoes to it. Hope you enjoy this recipe. And as always, I have the ingredients, instructions, and the recipe and on the comments. I appreciate your watching, and let's get cooking. Let's go. All right, folks, let's make the patties. Let's start off with the 1 large egg. Here's our large egg, and what? No shells. Very good. And we're gonna do 1.5 pounds of ground chicken. I got the lean ground chicken from Purdue. Got it at the Walmart yesterday morning. That's 1 pound right there. The other one is I have to break in half because I don't want to do 2 pounds. So I got 1 pound right there as well. So let's get us all together and clean up my hands a little bit. As you gotta be careful working with raw chicken. Let's do the 1/2 cup of Panko breadcrumbs. There we go. Sprinkle that all in there. We're gonna do 3 garlic cloves minced. And look at that garlic. I got this new, a couple weeks ago, I picked up a garlic clove mincer at the store, and it's been a lot easier mincing the garlic versus trying to do it with the knife. Been extremely pleased with it. All right, let's do the 1/2 teaspoons of the grated ginger root. I didn't have the grater available, so I just cut it up in small pieces. Not ideal, but it would work. It would definitely work for this, I hope. Let's do all right, let's do the Let's do the 3 tablespoons of the low sodium soy sauce. There we go. And let's get that here. Where's my tablespoon? How many? And I said 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. Here's 1. Here's 2. And 3. All right, let's do 3 tablespoon and a half of the brown sugar. I just used my tablespoon for the soy sauce, so I have to dry that off properly. And then get the brown sugar. Get the brown sugar in there. I learned cooking, patience is a virtue. I've never been really patient, so this is something I'm learning. I'm using non-GMO cane light brown sugar. Here's 1 tablespoon and a half. All right, very good. And now we're gonna do the 1.5 tablespoons of sesame oil. Here's what I'm using, extra virgin sesame oil. And here's what I use for the plain Panko breadcrumbs from Great Value. That's a Walmart brand. They had some Italian seasoning ones, but I wanted to go with the plain ones. Wanted to keep the taste honest on here. What did I say? Sesame oil. Tablespoon and a half. Here we go. It's 1 tablespoon. And oops. Did a little bit too much. Supposed to be a half. That's about more than 3/4, so I'm gonna just do partial. All right, leave that here. And then lastly, a 3/4 teaspoon of black pepper. I'm using this black pepper today, ground black pepper. And we're gonna go ahead and put that in here. I love measuring out in a dish, so it's a lot easier. Just mush it in there. So the plans for these patties, just so you know, I'm gonna be cooking 1 tonight for dinner. Then there's gonna be 5 remaining more. And I'm gonna be bringing them to lunch on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I'll be cooking them in the morning time before I go into work. And then microwaving them each morning. And then I'll be microwaving them at work and toasting the bun at work. And then I got mayonnaise and Roman tomatoes I'm gonna be slicing up for each burger. So I'm gonna put these things in the parchment paper. I'm gonna make 6 patties out of this. I'm gonna put them on this parchment paper and then put them in a refrigerator until it's ready for me to cook them in the morning time. But let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna mix this up. Don't necessarily enjoy doing this with my hands, but it's not too bad. And I just gotta wash my hands properly afterwards. And we wanna go ahead and mix it up, not overly mix it. And then I'll show you the end results with the patties done at that point. All right, I'll be right back. And let's go! All right, folks, here we go. Let's make the teriyaki glaze. Let's start off with a 1/3 cup low sodium soy sauce. 1/3 cup low sodium soy sauce. In a small saucepan. And you set it to medium. I actually did mine a low medium. 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Look at that sugar. All right, then we're gonna do, I said a teaspoon and a half of Marion. I don't have that, so they said you can substitute with a splash of rice vinegar. Here we go. A little dab of that. And then a tablespoon and a half of honey. That was a tablespoon, and let's get a little bit more in there for a half a tablespoon. We can just pour that in directly. Let's go, honey bear. Woo! All right, that's about a tablespoon and a half of honey. Now we're gonna go with 1.5 teaspoon of sesame oil. Here's a teaspoon. Look at those nice colors. There we go. And while that's beginning to heat up and start simmering, I'm gonna make the cornstarch and the water. And form a slurry while that's going. So let me get that together, and when I do, I'll come back and put it in here. I'll be right back. Let's go! All right, had the sauce, the glaze, simmering for a little bit. So now I'm gonna gradually pour in the Savory. Hold on, let me mix it up a little bit more. And I wish I had a stand so I could stir while I'm doing it. I stand for my camera, but I don't. I just put it in there, and I'm going to stir it around. Nice like that. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna let it simmer for another 1 to 2 minutes until it thickens. Then I'm gonna remove it from the heat and set it aside. All right, folks. When we come back, we're gonna go ahead and start cooking up a patty, one patty. All right, folks, let's go. All right, folks, here we go. Like I said, I'm doing one burger a day. I'm doing this one for my dinner tonight, late dinner, but I wanted to give it a try hot and fresh. I already toasted the bun, and I applied some mayo to it. I'm gonna slice up one small Roman tomato and put that on there. So we want to do on medium heat on a skillet. I did apply a little bit of oil to it so it doesn't stick. About, what did it say? Cooking the patties 5 to 6 minutes per side until it's browned. Internal temperature needs to reach 165 internal temperature. And with chicken, it's much more important that we get that right, fully cooked, more so than the beef. So you gotta be careful with the chicken. And then the last minute, when we're done, we're going ahead and put a little bit of the teriyaki glaze on it, each side, during the last minute. And the burger and teriyaki glaze with there's going to be a flavorful finish. So I'll go ahead and do one more segment of the output of the chicken teriyaki burger on the bun. All right, guys, let's go! All right, folks, here we go. There's the patty I just did. Glazed it in the last minute. Here's my little bit of mayo. A little bit more than a quarter of a Roman tomato. And I'm gonna put that on here like that. And this week, I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm doing the burgers, and my other recipe I'm doing this week is a vegan barbecue beans. Barbecue beans, vegan, and the burger. And a little bit of different cooking for me, but it's here in Florida. It's getting a little bit hot, getting ready for summertime, so I wanted to get a early jump on it here, even though it's middle of April. Here we go. Take a bite. 1 bite test. Very good. Outstanding burger. As always, I really appreciate you watching. I'm very grateful and appreciative of that. I hope you have enjoyed cooking. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. And I hope you have an amazing day, amazing week, terrific, outstanding morning, day, or night. And let's get going. And until next time, let's keep cooking and let's go. And thank you very much.